I'm going to show you how to beat the WTC 600 Tokyo East event with a factory NSX 2017 and intermediate tires and ballast and an aero package on hard mode. And those are the only changes I've done to the car. You can see I did type B for the front aero, the side aero, and I'm sure any form of adjustable custom wing set will work here. So we have rear downforce. So let's go ahead and go into the event. World Circuits and Asia. And here's the event, the WTC 600. Payout is 550,000 credits and more if you can do it cleanly. And here's the car settings. So again, intermediate race tires, we're going to be using those throughout the entirety of the race. And just about everything else, as you can see, is just normal, except front downforce. Brought it down all the way to 80. Rear is at 168. And the ballast, I brought that up to 96. And I pushed it all the way forward to the front at 50. Again, you can see there's going to be nothing else done or changed with this car. And let's go ahead and enter the race. Alright, so we've entered the race. And we're going to do whatever we can to get into the slipstream with this group of cars in front of us. And I will typically stay to the right. They don't always do the same thing every race, but I find that if I stay to the right, they tend to group to the right, and that allows me to pass them cleanly on the left. And I've done this a few different ways, and it doesn't always work out unless I stay to the right. So, right before the 200 mark. I had an easy open to pass there, but I don't always attempt to pass in this area. This isn't, passing will come in time. It's just better to be patient, wait this out. Oops, glanced the wall right there. Hope that doesn't cost me. Right here is going to start fuel saving. I'm going to bump it up into 7th gear. Hope that doesn't cost me. And reason being is that the AI tend to drive a lot slower through here than I do. Brake, 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 brake. Get through this turn. Still keep the gear high. Anyway, they tend to drive much slower, which makes them easier to catch or easier to pass at some other point. And again, I don't typically try to pass them here, but I do want to get as close to them as possible so that I can get into the slipstream for the straight, and you'll see why later. I'm going to brake just before the 50 mark, and hopefully that will get me past the Subaru on the left. I think that's a Subaru. Yes, and it worked. Okay. So again, I'm not going to try to pass anyone right here yet. I just want to get into the slipstream. If there's a lot of cars in front, I'll brake about the 200 mark. If not, I'll brake just before the 150. And that will help me get into this turn. So I'm going to try to take it as tight as possible, and that will sometimes allows me to pass, and sure enough, got past another car. It also will help you catch cars, as they have a tendency to take that turn very wide. And we can enter into the slipstream here. Again, we are winding the car out through the last portion of the lap and into this portion. Hopefully get a good slipstream off the Porsche here. Good enough. I'm going to stay in 7th gear until I get into the flat, and then I drop it into 8th. And sometimes I'll even pop into 9th right about here just to add a little bit to fuel saving. So I'm going to brake right before that puddle, before the 200 mark. Tuck it in.
So that's my braking point back there, just before that puddle, before the 200 mark. And there we go. I'll start short shifting, get this up into 7th gear, again for fuel saving. And I just, manage the throttle as far as how to adjust that. Ooh, a little close to the left. Hope I make this turn without... That slowed me down quite a bit. Short shift just to, again, keep that fuel saving process in mind. So I have 5.5 laps to go. I'm just a little under 5.5 on fuel. Brake a little bit before the 50 mark here. Sometimes I'll tap the brake here if I need to cut in, otherwise it's just all throttle control. And now we're going to wind it out again, all the way up. Try to catch someone in front of us. Again, brake just before the 150. Try to keep it as tight as possible. Ease on the throttle here, don't punch it. It's likely to spin out. I always aim for the street pole right there. It helps me straighten out, and then I straighten the car out afterward. How's that for a mouthful? Anyway, we're still winding this out. So I have, excuse me. So I have 5 laps to go, 4.6 laps of fuel. Shift into 8th at the flat. Again, as always, we're going to brake just before the puddle at around the 200 meter mark. Go. Again, just a little short shifting through here just to start that fuel saving process a little early. Get it up into 7th gear. Just use throttle control to get through the sections. Try to stay a little more to the right here and don't get caught up in those puddles so much. It makes it easier to get through these turns. Be a little bit of slip angle going on in these turns with this car. That's alright. Just keep your eyes focused on the distance, not where the curb is. Because where you look is likely where you're going to steer the car. So try to keep it ahead as much as possible. Again, no need to try to pass this guy right now. Just stay close to him. If you can get him by this mark, great. Obviously didn't brake before the 50. Ugh, maybe a little too much there. Then open it up. See if we can get at least a little close to this guy. I'm not going to pass him, I don't think. Brake before the 150. Oh, just did it. Overshot a little bit. Got by him without incident. That's always good. Aim for the street pole right there, and then straighten the car out as I come to it. Keep winding it out. So the reason I stumbled onto this is that most of the races I've done, I'll watch the race winner and see that they're on street softs or racing softs, and I would try to match that with this car and also match their car. It would just pull away from me, and I would have to add so much ballast or something to the car to get the power points within proper range. Brake, 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 brake before that puddle. So the event originally would leave me in like 12th, or something of that nature. And I'm sure my poor driving skills added to that as well. But it just seemed such a difficult fight, and I thought that's kind of unfair that I have the exact same car, exact same tires, same aero package, and no matter how I adjust the aero, my power points were so high unless I added a bunch of ballast, and then those cars would pull, whoa! Sakes. There we go. But those cars, actually a lot of the cars would just pull away from me. That just seems kind of crazy. So I recognize that, you know, the first portion of this track is wet, or the race rather, is wet, and I thought, why not try racing intermediates? And it has pulled off pretty well, as you'll see. Brake before the 50. I have 3.25, 3.5-ish laps to go, and then fuel's at 3.3, so we'll see what the fuel saving kicks in. Brake, just before the 150. Try to tuck it in. Overshot a little. Sometimes I'll drop down into first gear and then quickly bring it up to second just to help me make the turn. So yeah, so the intermediate race tire has worked well for me in this, with, again, not very little modification of the car, as you saw earlier, just the ballast and an aero adjustment. Come on, little car. Short shifted there just a little bit, just to add to the fuel, because I've got 3 laps to go and only 2.7 laps of fuel remaining. Again, brake just before the puddle there, before the 200 meter mark. The puddle before the 200 meter mark. Oh no. That shouldn't cost me anything. Short shift, get that up to 7th gear. Gonna sound like a broken record here, right? Just a reminder. Ooh, a little bit more to the left than I like. Still worked out. Alright. So I played around with this NSX on a variety of ways, and I've done a number of different builds with it. I've got one where it's basically taken up to a Group 3 car. Handles really well. If anybody's interested in that, you can message me and I'll friend me on the PlayStation Network, and I'll post and share those videos. Or if I get enough response, I'll post and share here on YouTube. Try to cut it in. Don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him. Alright, made it. Chances of him passing me, the AI passing me, are high. That car has some great top end. Let's see if it gets me on this straight. So coming up to the racing line. I got 2 laps left, 1.8 laps of fuel. Shift early. Just for fuel saving. If the car catches me, great. We'll have plenty of time to pass later. Here it comes. And, oops, got his nose in on me a little bit. Oh no, he actually nosed me. Stinker. What was that all about? Well, likely lost my bonus points on that. Let's finish the race anyway. Boy, that didn't help either. Gotta get in my racing mind again. Get into 7th gear. It's so funny. You know, you get into a little incident, and sometimes if your mind is not clear, you cause more incidents to yourself. Like I did glancing that wall there. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to keep short shifting. Ooh, that was it. There we go. Okay. And I still think I can get this guy. That might have hurt me in getting first place. Now we'll find out. But the other reason I like this event, you know, again, the common way to earn fast money is to, you know, get some overpowered car, dumb it down, or even an underpowered car, and, you know, pump it up. And that's part of the game, and I completely agree with that. I've had fun doing it, but sometimes, hey, we're getting them again. Oh, a little wide, a little wide. All right, see if we can get this in. Yeah, we'll see if I can hold him off or not. He'll probably pit this lap, but if not, he's still got a chance to catch me on the straight. Anyway, it's you know, sometimes you get into these events and you blow everybody out of the water on lap 1, and then you're just racing 12 laps around by yourself, and that's great, you know, if we want to earn points. And I've done that many times. I still do it. But I like the challenge of this event because it puts me in a position to challenge a race leader. Now, right now, I'm in P1, but that's going to change because I got to pit after this lap. I've got 9/10 of a lap of fuel, so I'm still going to have to fuel save. Get this car tucked in. Oh, had to brake a lot there. A little slick. Took that too fast. Ah! Boy, we'll see if I get this race bonus. I kind of really doubt it. Short shift. I need to save fuel now. So let's keep this to the right. I don't have to worry about traffic anymore. It keeps me out of the puddles. A little bit of slip angle there. Probably more like drifting the way I took that turn. Short shift. Whew, that was fun. Where are we going to brake? We're going to brake just before the 50. Oh, okay, made it. Good, good, good. I got half a lap of fuel. That's good for this section of the track. Just going to open it up again. And where are we going to brake here? Again, just before the 150 mark. Try to get this thing tucked in. Even though there's no cars here, it will help you get better lap times on the AI, either catching them or pulling away. I've got enough fuel, I'm just going to keep opening this up. If I didn't, I would be short shifting. I've had to do that before too. I've entered the pits with only 0.1 and maybe less. Alright, so we've raced fastly into the pits. We're going to choose the intermediate tires, which I just did, and we're going to refuel. And I'm going to give myself about 5.6 laps. I only have 5 laps left, but 5.6 gives me a little bit of leeway if I need to use it to catch it, because also coming out of the pits, we're going to burn about 2/10 of a lap of fuel just getting up to speed. So 5.6, there we go. Let's see where we are. I'm now in second place. I can't tell if anybody's close. Yeah, I might have someone coming up on me here on the right here shortly. But I am opening this thing wide up. And I'm not trying to block them. Although this is my better racing line. And they didn't want to go around, so that works. Great. Just before that puddle right there. Get the car slowed down. So far, so good. A little bit short shifting. Oh, boy, I'm not doing good with that wall. No bonus for me. Maybe if I hit it light enough, the bonus might work. I'm just going to stay on the inside here. Keep the IA, forcing them to go to the outside of the track, which, again, they typically will lose. Try to stay to the inside, stay out of the puddle. Brake, 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 brake. Woo, that's close. And again, I'm going to short shift again because I'm not concerned about the AI catching me. I do need to get to the leader, who's now 12 seconds ahead. Oh, can't believe I did that. Such a terrible race. Ah. I've had these races go a variety of different ways. As I mentioned at the beginning of the race, and depending upon where you are on the track, the AI will do different things. I've raced this where I'm already in first, you know, within a lap or two here. I've raced it where I've been neck and neck at the end. And again, that's part of why I've enjoyed it. I can still get first place. Not a guarantee. I mean, obviously my racing has not done well. My driving has not done well. I've glanced a lot of walls here. Again, will likely ruin the bonus. But I just find this race more fun than, as I stated earlier, than beating the crud out of everything for 10 finish laps. And I won't stop doing that. I will likely get back on that at some point again if I just want to do something easy. Because sometimes it's nice to do something easy, but this one I love the challenge. A little bit short shifting, brake before that puddle, before the 200 meter mark. Come on. Ah, not good. Just had to slow that way down. Line this up a little bit. I have room to play now. I still drop in 7th here. Just provides a lot of stability. The car is still accelerating. I know that I'm still accelerating faster than any of the AI through this section. You can watch it on the time on the left, 12.9, 12.8. See, it's already. I guess I shouldn't talk and drive. 12.4. Say, well, is that going to be enough? You only have 4 laps. Talking and driving again. You only have 4 laps left. Likely, the leader's going to pit. Doesn't always happen, and but likely it will happen. Say, well, why would I do this then if I'm not guaranteed 500,000 or 800,000 plus credits? Well, again, there's other ways to make more credits. I just find this one a lot of fun, and it's on hard mode, so I mean, it's not. You know, you put it on easy mode, you can be well ahead of everybody by now. Brake, 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 brake. Aim for that street pole, straighten the car out when you get close to it. Straighten the car out on the track, that is, not straightening out your steering. And we're going to wind this up because I've got just a little over 3 laps left, and I have 3.5 laps of fuel, so there is no problem with fuel right now. And sure enough, there it goes. Race leader pit. Again, that does not always happen. There have been times that I have had to catch the race leader, and again, it provides for a whole lot more of excitement. And we'll just continue to finish this race out. At least the pressure's off now, so the second place driver, I believe, is driving the RX-7. We'll start pulling from him. The car's very quick, or much quicker than I drive out of corners. Alright, and here we are at the finish line. I have 0.4 laps of fuel. And we're going to take first place. An easy 500,000, so that's not so bad. A lot of glancing off the walls and tapping cars and so forth, and I got hit by the other car, so that's the way it goes. Oh wow! No, it gave me 825,000, so I guess that wasn't too rough. Again,
This was done on hard mode. I'll show that here. There it is. And I'll show that all I did was ballast and tires and aero. Oops, I guess I'm going to have to exit. That's going to make me exit the whole race. I'll just enter the race again. We'll take a glance at the stats. So again, racing intermediates, everything is normal except the aero and the ballast, and there we go. Right on.